Now I'm getting the biggest WTF moment from this week's Friday Night SmackDown out the way straight away, because we all saw what happened at Money in the Bank 2020, didn't we? When my best friend in the entire world, Tamina, was screwed out of the SmackDown Women's Championship. But was she seen on this week's SmackDown to get the title shot, the one-on-one shot where Sasha Banks can't get involved? Was she there to claim what is rightfully hers? Was she bollocks? And that is the biggest injustice in the history of injustices. Justice for Tamina. This week's SmackDown was rubbish. Even though this week's SmackDown was really rather good. A special shout out, of course, goes to Mr. Drew Gulak for a fantastic last WWE match for the time being. Who knows what's going on with that contract situation? I certainly don't. Hit the intro, Lord. WTF! And tonight we will be joined by the Queen, said Corey Graves, as it was announced at the start of SmackDown that because of this brand-to-brand invitational, that definitely is not the wild card. NXT. What is she? Raw or NXT? I've got no idea, but she appeared on SmackDown, so she did. I mean, I like Charlotte Flair. She's absolutely fantastic, but that poor bugger, she is overexposed to fuck. She's the most exposed thing in the professional wrestling since Midian, for goodness sake. They don't help her out whatsoever, do they? I mean, I guess we've got to look at the good in this situation, of course. At least there is a reason for Charlotte Flair appearing on SmackDown as well as NXT, as well as Monday Night Raw, with this brand-to-brand invitational thing that definitely is not the wild. If you can explain why she still appears on Monday Night Raw while she's being NXT champion in the realms of kayfabe, of course, please let me know. Maggle called Otis the most surprising Money in the Bank winner ever, when we live in a world where James Ellsworth won that thing, the women's version, of course, even though he has a willy. Now, I'm only including this as a WTF moment because no doubt about it, a lot of you people out there think us fat lads, we can't dance, but Otis doing a cartwheel. Oh my God! Wow! I mean, I'd do one right now if I had the room in my flat. I would. I would do one, but I don't have the room. And then we have a direct quote from Jomo, John Morrison himself, to my bae and spirit animal now. Rusev is no longer around. Otis, Jomo said this to Otis when he said, did your learning disability keep you from learning how to put clothes on? And I don't know about you at home, but I nearly layeth the smacketh downeth on my television screen when Jomo said that, the bastard. And I just can't believe that the first ever and longest reigning 5-star wrestling champion would mock an actual learning disability. I thought the prestigious holders of the prestigious championship belt that was known as the 5-star wrestling world title were better than that, but it's clear that they're not, and that's a shame. Find anybody who wants to tag with the human version of Shrek, The Miz said to my boy Otis. And when The Miz said this, I was thinking, wait, hang on a second there, I did not realise Wayne Rooney was on this week's SmackDown. Did you?
If you don't want to come to these TV tapings because of the serious health risk this global pandemic is putting on all of us, your place on the card will not be affected.
Vince McMahon might have said once upon a time. And if Vince McMahon did say this, I've got one word to say to you, Vince McMahon, that really isn't a word whatsoever, but I'm still going to say it anyway. Bull bollocks, pal. When I first saw this, I was thinking, well, they're doing it for Jordan Devlin on NXT with his Cruiserweight Championship. They might as well do it for Sami as well. What's good for the geese is good for the gander. But then you remember, Jordan Devlin's title is just being taken away from him in the interim because he's stuck stuck in Ireland. The title has been taken away from him indefinitely, like it has done for Sami. So what the hell's the crack with that? How is their situation different, really? Yes, Jordan Devlin is stuck in Ireland, and yes, Sami Zayn can't or won't, whatever the story is, can't go to the shows, but you can still have the pair of them remain champion, cut promos via Zoom, Skype, whatever internet-based thing you want to use. The internet is fantastic. You should use it, Vince McMahon. So yeah, it just seems weird that you would make an interim champion on NXT, take the title away from Sami indefinitely on SmackDown. And I don't know what it is, but this entire situation, you can read into it what you will, but to me, and I might be off my rocker completely, it just stinks to me, so it does. Now, I read that Sami Zayn might or might not have had his wisdom teeth taken out of his head, which means he might not have been able to do the wrestling anyway. But you read, Vince McMahon's making this pledge to his superstars. Sami taking up that offer, maybe, not maybe. The Wisdom 2 story, is that true? I do not have a Scooby-Doo. But then you see the title getting taken away indefinitely versus the interim stuff on NXT. Away, man. Now, I might be making a mountain out of a molehill here, but just admit to yourselves, I never do that, do I? I never grasp at one too many straws here on WTF Moments, do I? But in any case, whatever's gone down with Sami Zayn having the title taken off him completely, I am going to pretend that did not happen. No matter what you see on SmackDown from this tournament, my Intercontinental Champion will be Sami Zayn. I hope he is for you too. They should just use the internet, shouldn't they? Why aren't they, poor Sami? Look at the left half of that bracket there. There's only one reaction, isn't there? Everybody in the world. Both of those matches there down the left, they are both bona fide finals in any tournament you want to hold. They both have story behind them. Although, with what we know about Drew Gulak now, it's all a bit awkward turtle, shaky palm tree. Ooh. But then you're looking around that tournament bracket there and your eyes get to the bottom right as well. Ooh. And I know it's not the match it once was after WWE castrated Shinsuke Nakamura, just like Shinsuke Nakamura tried to castrate Uncle Alan back in the era 2018, but still, whoa, the bloody brand to brand invitational that definitely is not the Vince McMahon's epiphany from last year. It's all right sometimes, isn't it? And that's a WTF moment, so it is. Maggle, 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 maggle. And then we learned from Maggle Cole that AJ Styles has entered this tournament to win the one title that has evaded him throughout his entire WWE career, Michael McIntyre. Well, I'm asking Maggle Cole, where is AJ Styles' NXT Championship reign, his North American Championship reign, his Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championship reigns, his 24/7, 48/7, 7-11 European whatever championship title reign? Where's that one? His women's title? No. Now, I reckon you could count on one hand. This is one hand right here the amount of conventional entrances Elias has done during his main roster career in WWE. So the fact he did one on the most recent SmackDown that took place from this very moment right here, it's got to be a WTF moment, hasn't it? So it is. But remember, when you tune into this week's Raw, young warrior, after what we saw on this week's SmackDown, surely Drew McIntyre has to defeat big baldy bastard Baron Corbin in roughly 30 to 40 seconds, because if he doesn't, we've got to be asking serious questions now, don't we, of the WWE. What? It looks like somebody blarted an infinity sperm right on Sheamus's chest, doesn't it?
I know how this game's played. I've been Mr. Money in the Bank before.
Not the words of Randy Newman, but the words of Braun Strowman on this week's SmackDown. And when Braun Strowman said this to my bait and spirit animal Otis, I was thinking, Braun, do you really know how this particular game is played? I didn't see you being very successful when you had briefcase in hand and yes or no, the Shield reunited United, you wanted to keep the Shield out of the match. You like, let's get inside Hell in a Cell. I guess that kind of made sense. But you are a silly Billy Braun. You cashed in your briefcase to have a match rather than cashing in your briefcase in the spirit of the Money in the Bank contract and cashing it in during a match behind somebody's back, roll them up, run away with the title. Greatest hype in the century. So you are the second last person who should be telling my bay and spirit animal Otis how to cash in that briefcase. The last person, of course, should be big bully bastard Baron Corbin, who, remember, was outmaneuvered, out-wrestled, out-everythinged by Jinder Mahal.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And here we have a direct quote from one Corey Graves when he says a lot of the WWE Universe showed a great deal of appreciation for Dana Brooke and the effort she put into the Money in the Bank match thing. Oh! Now, I'm sure this assumption from Corey Graves is not correct in the slightest, because I'm sure, just like me, you at home are watching Money in the Bank 2020 and wondering whose cornflakes did Dana Brooke piss in to be booked like such a feckin' Egypt. There's no other way to call Dana Brooke's performance at Money in the Bank 2020. Why was she so stupid? You look at her plucking the wrong briefcase from the wrong room inside WWE headquarters and thinking she had won. You look at her slipping arse over tea kettle after every single other lady just about in that match negotiated a slippy floor without issue whatsoever. The picture on the head as well. What the hell was Dana Brooke at Money in the Bank 2020? If you know, let me know, because I'm still bamboozled. And Naomi, after what we saw from Dana Brooke at Money in the Bank 2020, and after that same Dana Brooke a few days after Money in the Bank, where she proved she is one of the biggest idiots in the history of WWE, and after Dana Brooke out-wrestled you on SmackDown, I think it's time to retire. How do you come back from that? I mean, I know it's not. I know fine well it's not. I know Naomi is one of, if not the best professional wrestlers in WWE today. She is underrated AF, as the kids might say, and this is all building towards surely a big old bloody heel turn for Naomi, and hopefully the reunion of Team Bad Unity. And make a note of this, kids, the brand to brand invitational is taking place 4 times per year. Oh dear. And I bet you 5 whole 1 penny pieces that WWE do not do that. And once again, you just sat back watching WWE putting stupid, unnecessary, needless, overcomplicated stipulations on the things they're doing and thinking to yourself, why? Why not just make it as simple as possible? Why not, in the current climate, just go, hey, lads and lasses, we're backs against the wall here. The superstars we want to have on the shows each and every week, we can't really do that. Exclusive rosters to Raw, to SmackDown, they've been scrapped while the world is not normal. When it goes back to normal, exclusive rosters come back, but for the time being, to put on the best show possible, we're just going to have everybody come to all the shows and whoop-a-ba-bo. No stipulations, no rules to break, there you go. Simple. Why don't you do that, man? And when I say everybody come to the shows, I don't literally mean everybody go to the shows, because that would be silly, wouldn't it? I just mean everyone's available to go to the shows. Aye. And then we have a direct quote from Charlotte Flair this time when she says the numbers were crunched. People want more Charlotte Flair. Somebody clearly has not been crunching the numbers, then, have they? Now, I couldn't give a toss about the ratings, me. I think it's fantastic that on a Wednesday night, over 1 point whatever million professional wrestling fans are watching professional wrestling live-ish on the television. It's a thing to celebrate, so it is. But with this being said by somebody on a WWE program, you just know they're trying to get the stats that have been had many times since last October and just trying to sweep them under the rug so nobody notices. I see what you're doing there, but it didn't work, did it? Of course, Bayley retained the championship with a win over Tamina at Money in the Bank, said Michael Cole, as if there was nothing wrong with the statement he just said there. That was a win as much as I am a giraffe, Michael Cole. That what we saw at Money in the Bank 2020 was a theft, a robbery, a crime, an absolute scandal. Bayley did not win that match against Tamina at Money in the Bank. She escaped that match against Tamina at Money in the Bank. And I don't know about you, but I'm still waiting for WWE to make a solid steel cage match with Tamina against Bayley inside that bloody cage so people like Sasha Banks can't get involved and skew with the result of a catch-as-catch-can singles match. It's the right thing to do. Do it. Now, I think what Bayley was trying to say when she claimed she was the first and only Grand Slam Women's Champion is at the time when she did it, she was the first and the only. But since then, well, since last Monday, wasn't it? Asuka has become a Grand Slam Women's Champion, so Bayley, kind of saying it like she did, is a bit of a WTF moment if she did in fact mean the second option I gave you there, which I think she might have, but I don't know really, but I've mentioned it, so there you go. But it's even more of a WTF moment when you realise that Asuka's actually done more than Bayley in WWE with that Women's Royal Rumble victory. But then again, I do love the fact that Bayley was calling herself a Grand Slam Women's Champion up against, or right to I should say, a lady like Charlotte Flair who has held more title reigns than Bayley's had compliments for that new haircut of hers. Harsh but fair there. Now, just in case Charlotte Flair was being a silly Billy, I've got to make this a WTF moment. She said to Sasha Banks, "We main evented Raw for the first time," and I'm thinking, what? Hell no. Hold up. Does she mean for the first time as part of the women's evolution/revolution? I hope so, for her sake. But of course, Trish Stratus and Lita would be sat at home not watching SmackDown, because why would they watch SmackDown? But still, they must be sat at home thinking to Charlotte Flair, "Are we a joke to you, pal?" Because they're not like. So then we have Michael Cole doing a link during SmackDown and we see this here. It takes over the screen, so it does. No, it's not the NWO. It's better. It's the Forgotten Sons who seemingly hacked the SmackDown format just like this mystery hacker man does, which makes you think, imagine if the hacker is actually hackers and the hackers are the Forgotten Sons. They did the same thing as the hackers been doing, did they not? They wouldn't, would they? No. Jackson Ryker doing something? He's speaking the words out of his mouth using his voice box and other muscles.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh.
And then we have a direct quote from Michael Cole, which I'm not going to do using the impression because this is serious and needs to be treated in a very serious manner. When he said, "Why does a guy like Daniel Bryan, who is the best in the world, need a coach?" Maggle, you twat. This might have been the one step too far. We heard it, of course, with Becky Lynch on Raw last week, calling Asuka the best wrestler in the world for a long time. Something along those lines. And now we've got you saying this, Michael Cole, you need to be more careful. We're giving Colonel McSweaty Bollocks one too many reasons to come back into a WWE ring. If it's not Asuka he's challenging, it's gonna be Daniel bloody Bryan, is it not, Michael? Will you be quiet, man? And then we have a really confusing penultimate WTF moment from this week's SmackDown when Daniel Bryan said he's never had a shot back at the Intercontinental Championship since he relinquished that thing back in 2K15. Is WrestleMania 36 not a thing anymore? What the hell did we see at WrestleMania 36 when Daniel Bryan challenged Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship? Oh my God, they've stripped the title from Sami. They're now wiping his name from WWE history. Why else would Daniel Bryan say that when his shot happened very, very recently? Do not make any tasteless jokes. I can see in the comment section. Stop it. Braun Strowman's caterpillar is stiff. That's not a euphemism. It's just that we learned on this week's SmackDown with our own eyes that Braun Strowman's attempt at Otis's caterpillar is as stiff as JBL is when he's looking at pictures of naked, muscular ladies on the internet. Never, ever, ever forget. And that was it for your WTF moments from this week's SmackDown. Bittersweet, sweet in the sense that we saw a lot of Otis, sweet in the sense that we saw a lot of fantastic professional wrestling action, bitter in the fact that it would appear to be Drew Gulak's last WWE match for a long old while. He was showing great promise. He's a very charismatic, entertaining man who could be anything you want him to be. It's a shame he's not going to be around for the foreseeable future, and bitter of course because WWE have just screwed Tamina and then boop, she's gone. Where is she? Give her the one-on-one singles match inside of a cage that she deserves. I've been Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. I need a haircut.